Germain Grangier, welcome to the Running Long podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Francesco.
Good to see you. Yeah, of course, it's a pleasure to have you. And just to introduce you, maybe just say something about yourself and where you're recording from, and just what is up.
First of all, I'm French, so I live in the beautiful country of France, and not that far from your country, right? And
Right.
yeah, I just like yeah, I'm fascinated with the mountains. I've been like more or less living in the Alps since I was a kid. So I'm recording now from the Mercantour National Park, which is one of the national park in France. We only have like five, if I'm right. So it's kind of a chance to live in this protected area. It's like 1 hour 30 north from Nice, so pretty close from the sea, but still in the mountains, kind of like the first mountain of the Alps. And yeah, happy to have a chat with you.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking, like in Europe, it's hard to be farther than 1 hour and a half from any city, which is not something that always happens in the US, like where you have some really remote places. But I guess we can call the Mercantour National Park or like the Mercantour region a pretty wild region. Personally, I've never been there, and I would love to travel to those mountains. And I always see like your pictures and videos and Katie's videos and pictures, and it really looks amazing. So hopefully, I'll get a chance to visit sometime soon.
Yeah, I think it's a place to visit. There is not so much going on, and that's kind of why I decided to live here. It's we actually live in a village of 50 inhabitants, which is
Well,
not a lot. There's no like no restaurant, no bakery, nothing. And yeah, if you if your addiction is being outside and loving to watch like nature and animals and exercise with like the small circle of friends that we have here, it's the best place to live. But then if you need more in your life, more like socializing and stuff like that, no, it's not the best place to live.
yeah. So was it an intentional decision to live there, or like did you have other options that you were considering, like I don't know, living in Chamonix or like on the sea or a bigger city where you can still like do outdoor sports, but you're not like living with like 50 other people, obviously.
Yeah, I actually grew up in a kind of in a central place in the French Alps. Like I grew up in a ski resort not too far from Grenoble. It's like the Les Deux Alpes ski resort, which is like kind of one of the biggest ski resorts in France. So you have like kind of busy winter, busy summer, but in between, pretty quiet. So I grew up there. Then my parents they moved to the French Riviera, close to Nice. Then it was a bit of a shock for me. So the first mountain I was looking for like mountains when I was living close to the sea to try to escape and be more in my like my natural places I grew up into. So I found out the Mercantour and I was pretty shocked because there is no like really big activity either in winter or in summer. Yes, we have like a few ski resorts, but it's nothing compared to like big ski resorts. And the thing that really shocked me was that yeah, I could go for hours in like different places and don't see anyone and see like plenty of animals. And I was like, oh, that's very different from the Northern Alps. And I kind of like this connection that at the same time it's super close to like a big city, 1 hour and a half from Nice, like you have a like big airport, but then suddenly you don't have network. There's a lot of places you don't have network. You're just lost in the middle of like this park, and I think that's the main reason I decided to live here, just to be able to be in the middle of nowhere. I'm more like a solo person, so
Yeah,
I like that.
cool. Yeah, it's very cool. Um, yeah, there's a lot of things that I could follow up on what you just mentioned because one thing that I was thinking is like the Alps are becoming like a very crowded place, especially in some regions and some cities. Like it's probably like the most crowded mountains that there is on Earth. If you think about, the Rocky Mountains or like Asian mountains, the Himalayas, or like even other mountains in Europe. Like I think there is like 14 million people living in the Alps, in the Alpine region in Europe. Um, but the thing is, like some places are getting like really crowded and like get over tourism, like maybe Chamonix or even Cortina, the Dolomites, all those like iconic places. And some other places, um, they don't get tourism and they're actually losing population because those valleys, those villages and towns, people just leave because there are no like opportunities to work, to live, and to build a life that I don't know is satisfying for those people. And I was just thinking how you represent like the opposite of this evolution, which is really cool and something that also happened in the US with like if you think about like places like Leadville or Silverton, even Boulder, um, like those were like mining towns that were losing, like they were like on the brink of extinction because like they were losing population. There was like until there were like mining towns, the economy was good, but then everything stopped. So like nobody wanted to live there. But they actually found a new energy and like a new reason to keep growing thanks to outdoor sports. So like I was thinking Germain is kind of doing the same in like on a smaller scale, of course, but yeah, going from these like super popular touristic alpine places to like really remote valleys and places to live. So what do you think about this process in general and like how do you see I don't know, the evolution of the alpine region?
Yeah, I think you're right. There is like definitely in the Alps like places like hotspot that are getting more and more crowded in those small valleys that can barely like fit that amount of people. It's like if you think of the Valley of Chamonix and the gap between like the people living there and then the people that are staying there in the summer, it's actually a problem that the city is dealing with. It's like the increase in the delta of increase from the local population to like local plus tourists. So I think that's a problem from my point of view. Yeah, I'm kind of like escaping those. I like to go in those places, not for a long time, but I kind of like spending times there. But where I feel the best is where I can find like calm and quietness, and that's why I decided to live in the place where I'm at right now. So yeah, you're right. Those places are getting more and more empty. Actually, it's like a kind of a problem because where I live right now, before it used to be like 500 or 600 inhabitants in in the early 90s,
Yeah.
because people were living about from like agriculture, and you can see it in the landscape. You can see that there was definitely activity before, and now like we switch our activities, and there are less people doing agriculture. There's still like these like 30 or 40 people here living only from like their land. They yeah, like vegetables. They hunt in the winter. It's like really like the lifestyle here is really like that, to be independent, and all the people around us are in that mood. I would say they are really like self-sufficient, more or less. They barely drive down to the city in Nice, and they just live their life like that, which is inspiring when you're living here. For sure, we have a different lifestyle. We go to places, we go back, but then we also exchange things. We just like we like trade vegetables against something else, and that's kind of a funny
That's cool.
lifestyle also. Yeah. So yeah, for me, yeah, all the like I used to say that trade running give me the excuses to live that life, because it's kind of my dream life to live here. But then I also don't forget that for sure, in order to live that life, I have it implies that people need to live in city, because yeah, I'm a professional athlete. Without people like working in cities, working for brands, doing stuff like that, kind of at the end of the chain, I can, yeah, I'm lucky to choose this lifestyle, but without those people, like I wouldn't be able to live that life. So it's kind of like a privileged lifestyle at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But also like the professional athlete life is not for everyone. It's not like what everybody is interested in, and not everybody has the
Yeah.
talent to live the kind of life that you have, for example, obviously. Um, so like it's for us, maybe it's crazy to think that the vast majority of people on Earth, their main aspiration is maybe to live in a city, where while for us it's the complete opposite, but that's the reality, I guess. And I just think that for some places in the mountains, and I think that is happening more in the US than in the Alps, those villages, those places are kind of like restarting to live thanks to outdoor sports and trail running. Like if you think about what's happened with Leadville and Silverton, where of course with the Leadville 100 or the Hard Rock 100-mile race, like Silverton and Leadville, I think they would have completely died if there wasn't for those races and the community around those races and people who work for these races. Um, so like it's something that I really wish to see here in the Alps, because like we see that some villages and valleys are basically dying because nobody wants to do agriculture it like it was like it used to be back in the 90s or even before. Nobody wants to keep some of the traditions and traditional occupations and jobs that people had 50 years ago. And that's obviously fine, because like as the economy advances, our lifestyle progress, um, it's okay that like people aspire to different things. But I just hope that thanks to outdoor sports, there are maybe not directly linked to skiing, because I think one of the problem with tourism and like overcrowded places and yeah, some of the problems that places like the Dolomites or Chamonix or Zermatt or other places in the Alps have are linked to the business of alpine skiing, because basically they're like these huge ski resorts that have become really popular, where people go and just they just go there to ski basically, but they don't leave much to the place, to the mountains, to the community. Um, so I think, yeah, this is something that I wish to see more, and I think it could be an interesting second opportunity for some valleys and places to live with a kind of like slow tourism connected to the practice of outdoor sports and especially trail running. So I don't know. This is like very general, but I see that maybe some places are starting a little bit to um yeah push in that direction, if it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean here they are slowly they slowly begin to realize that there is like really like some things to do in spring, summer, and in autumn and fall. So yeah, still like the alpine skiing is still like still like the main activity
Main activity,
around
yeah.
here, and that's also why we know those ski resorts. But they are slowly like step by step. I'm very confident that they see that things are moving, and I think for training is part of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like, it's crazy how so many people don't know much outside like the top destinations, the top touristic destination in the Alps. Like, yeah, all the same ones like Chamonix and Cortina and Zermatt and Saint Moritz and all of those places. And like, if you just go on the valley next to those places, you don't find anyone, and like people don't know what is there. So like, yeah, encouraging like tourism or like, yeah, responsible tourism outside those like huge, iconic, popular destinations, I think is it would be important. Anyway, yeah, I didn't imagine the conversation would took this turn, but it's kind of cool. Yeah, something about you now. Um, so this is like kind of like the holy week for trail running with, Western States and Lavaredo and Marathon de Mont Blanc happening in the same weekend, which is kind of crazy. So like every trail runner, of course, is super excited. Personally, I'm going to Marathon de Mont Blanc. Your girlfriend, Katie, is signed up and is one of the favorite at Western States. And you were supposed to go to Lavaredo, but unfortunately, it's not gonna happen. I think, at least to race. So can you talk a little bit about what happened recently?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this weekend is extreme. This like 2 weeks of end of June are extremely busy for I mean, both for like the ultra running and the like shorter version of trail running. I think it's super busy. Yeah, I was supposed to race Lavaredo at the end of June, so like yeah, like this Friday, but unfortunately I broke my ribs 10 days ago, and on a extremely easy terrain. As usual, it's always on the super easy terrain that things happen. So yeah, I was like looking around the landscape, watching the sunset, and then I slept on a muddy field, and yeah, I broke my ribs. So yeah, that's a bit of bad luck. Something I can't really control. It's not like I went too far in my training, or I didn't listen to my body. It's just like, yeah, well, it's a stupid fall, and then yeah, I'm just waiting for it to heal.
Yeah. How do you mentally cope with that? Like, I was thinking that last night I was reading one of your posts um, about this injury that happened. Obviously, you couldn't predict it, and you mentioned something about learning from the experience and feel yourself changing and adjusting parts of yourself to change. And you wrote that struggle is its own rewards, and there is no waste. And the more you struggle, the better you get. Can you comment a little bit on those words?
Yeah, I feel like I mean it's pretty much a sum up of also like kind of the mindset you can have during a race. It's always like you're racing. It's why you're racing, right? Because you want to know what's going to happen. Otherwise, you just keep training. So you always have something that will happen. And the interesting thing is like, okay, what I will do to face that. And uh, and I think the interesting part is when those things happen, it's like yeah, it's just like bowling. You have like 100 things coming into your head. I have this race coming up. So before, I would say my first injuries, I would just be like kind of in a down for several days, like asking myself why it's happening to me, kind of like being pretty negative about it. And then this time I really surprised myself being just the day after already in the process of like optimizing everything that I could do to make it heal faster. So yeah, I feel like yeah, every struggle is something new that happened to you. So at first you're a bit shocked because you don't want to deal with something new. You want to stay in your routine. You want to stay with what works. And then you have these things that happen. So if you take it with the angle of curiosity, I think it's like kind of an interesting way. I kind of take it as a game. It's like, okay, I have this thing now. I have to deal with that to kind of keep my fitness going on, but at the same time optimizing the eating. So kind of find the great balance between that. And at the end of the day, it helps you to make good decision. And I think it's if you also bridge it to race strategy, it's super important in ultra running. At least maybe I think it's the same for short distances, but decision making it's extremely important in ultra running. And those like things that happens like during your preparation that help you to like kind of processes the things. And you when you want to take your decision you have like a lot of good solution, but you want to find the best solution for you. And I think that's where it's super interesting because it allows you to process a lot of things quickly and make decision and make what's the best decision for you. And you from that you learn so much about yourself, about how you think, how to project. And yeah, it's always super interesting periods, even if you're not building any extra fitness.
Yeah.
But there is so many things going on the other side.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I really like this like problem solving attitude that you have towards this situation, but also like towards ultra trail racing and running and training. I think is very, it can bring a lot of positives and a lot of good learning for you. I was just thinking that like I think the most common reaction to an injury for any athlete is to like kind of like blame yourself and like want to fight the situation because you're uncomfortable and you just don't accept the situation that you're injured and you can't train normally, you can't do the race that you were signed up to. Um, and it's so hard to come to this mindset of acceptance that I think is often the solution for a lot of things. Like it's not that we have to accept everything that happens to us or around us, but it's like I don't know, it's like in judo, when your competitor makes a move and you like try to not fight against the move, but use your uh, competitor's energy to take advantage of the move that he's making, if
Yeah,
the analogy makes sense. Um, so like the potential that I see, the beauty that can arise from this situation is to yeah turn the situation in your favor basically, even if um from like from an outside perspective it looks bad and is negative, it forces you to change plans and to change your approach to training and sport. And I think adjusting plans is always hard because as athletes we are used to planning and like doing it very carefully. And in with training, like if I make a plan and I have, okay, this week I want to run like, I don't know, 15 hours or 100 miles, whatever. And then something forces you to change for whatever reason. It's always hard to change, to let the plans go and to like deviate. Even if you know deep inside yourself that is the right decision, it's so hard to say no or like to change, you know? So yeah, I can definitely relate to what you just say. I don't feel particularly good, or like always well equipped, especially mentally, to deal with these kind of situations. But I've understood that being a high level athlete is looks much more like that, instead of thinking that everything always runs super smoothly and perfectly. And I think this is a misconception that a lot of people have, that personally I had when I started doing this sport seriously. Um, but it's important that we contribute to change this narrative, and let people see that like our life, our training is not linear, it's not smooth, it's not like always perfect, but is a lot of adjustments, is a lot about learning, is a lot about decision making, and just making the best out of each opportunity, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I think yeah, it's worth telling people that most of the time, uh, every time you go outside, it's yeah, it's never like you never feel like several weeks in a row extremely good. There is like most of the time, yeah, it's an average run, average feelings, and then you're building from that. And then at the end of the day, what you want is your average to be higher than your past average. You don't want to you don't want to be it never happens to be too good too soon. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a long process, and yeah, it's just like doing things every day and step by step, yeah, getting a little bit better every time. Yeah.
So now, how does this situation change your a season, like your summer of racing? Obviously, you want to do Lavaredo. I think your next big objective is UTMB. How is this situation going to change your preparation and approach to UTMB?
So yeah, first I decided to normally I would so in the winter I do like ski mountaineering, so I barely run. My season is like yeah, I would say end of November to beginning of April, a lot of skiing, then start running again. And usually I do race in May. And this year I decided to give me more space and not run in May and go directly towards Lavaredo. So yeah, that won't happen. So that's will be like a pretty new season scheme for me because yeah, as you said, if I recover well, like a bit quickly, then I can start running in July again. It's UTMB will be my first race of the season, which is kind of funny.
Yeah,
It's like I don't know if like anyone started this race with no race in the
but
current
you're
year.
you're a
It's
veteran of
like
UTMB now, so you have an actual experience
yeah,
to
I
get
think
it right.
yeah, it's a bit different also for those long races. You don't really need that much time at race pace because you can reach race pace pretty easily
Yeah,
during training. You can do so many hours like around race pace or even faster, which is not the case like for you guys when you like train for like 2 to 3 hour like race. It's like you need a bit of race adaptation. It's hard to replicate this like race pace during training. So yeah, I know the race. I know UTMB. Uh, I'm not that like scared of not racing before. I, again, we see the positive sides, being like super fresh mentally, having a lot of motivation, big will to do well. And again, it's going to be a new approach, so I'm pretty excited about that. Maybe I'm going to do a little bit more at training, things that maybe I will try new things during the training phase. So yeah, that's another angle, and yeah, it kind of in the end brings more excitement to the preparation.
Good. Yeah, you see that, it's up to you whether you look at that with excitement or with fear and judgment. Like a lot of people, I think, in this situation would feel pretty bad. But I think it's really positive and nice that you see the potential of this situation and the challenge, and it's a positive one. So it makes you thrive in this situation. Um, so technically, how does your training look right now? Like, what are you allowed to do, and how do you plan to build towards UTMB?
So technically, yeah, I had to say that I broke my rib actually, yeah, 2 weeks ago. The thing is that I did an X-ray the day after the fall, and they didn't see the broken ribs, so they told me you're fine, you can keep running.
Okay.
They told me it's just a bruise, so I ran 1 week, 8 days with the two broken ribs, and it was extremely painful. So, so after 8 days, I went back to the hospital to do another X-ray, and they actually found the broken ribs. So I already like kind of not respected the injury because I didn't know that it was broken. So that's a bit tricky for the recovery because the first 10 to 14 days it's where you build up new bones, new cartilage. So right now I'm taking super easy and just bike indoor and a bit outdoor on like really like smooth roads. Not too long, just to like kind of maintain a correct level of fitness. And yeah, I will do like a new checkup early July to do some imaging and see if I built some new bones in between.
Yeah.
And then if it's okay, yeah, I will try to run again to start running again early July. It will be like between 3 and 4 weeks after the fall. It's normally the time frame. So so I will see how it evolves from there, and then start running again. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of UTMB, obviously last year was pretty special. You know, you were on the podium, of course, with Jim and Zach. Um, you closed UTMB in just a few minutes above 20 hours, which is like an amazing performance. What do you recall from that experience now that you're in this situation? Like, I'm sure you have a lot of memories about last year and like the amazing feeling it was to be on the podium. Um, but like being in this situation, which maybe feels like really far from where you were last year, in the same period, like what makes you think? What does it make you think?
Yeah, that's true. It's just like a time run. Normally, you kind of like train more seriously to get ready, and at the end like a little bit more than 2 months before UTMB. So yeah, try to exactly. I try to look back at my training and to get that confidence back. back in my veins. Yeah, I know what I did. I know that I trained extremely well since I had this fall. So yeah, at the end I trained 6 months pretty well, and then just had this stupid fall. So I think I was ready to race anyway, and yeah, I'm telling myself that just like yeah, 2 weeks of biking won't really change a lot, and I will still be competitive in 2 months, which I think I can. So yeah, to answer, it's more about like building confidence and looking back at what you did, and yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, but like if you look back at what you did, does it give you more confidence or pressure that you always have to be at that level? Like people, and maybe yourself too, like they expect you to be on the podium of UTMB again, obviously. So does that put pressure on you or confidence, or it gives you confidence that you can be at that level because you've already accomplished this result?
Yeah, I understand what you say now. Uh, yeah, I would say I would not go to UTMB if I feel I cannot be as competitive as I was last year. That's what I told my doctors when they say, okay, you can start running mid-July or end of July. I told them, okay, if I do that, I'm just not going. So, it's like when you are well surrounded with like nutritionists, blah, blah, every person around you, that you took all those person to have a lot of advice, a lot of point of views, and then you're at this point of like, I used to do all of that on my own, and you're still the one who is driving the boat. So you kind of have to say, okay, I hear everyone's voices, but that's what I'm gonna do because yeah, maybe it's a little bit out of reason, but I want to make sure I fail at what I exactly want to do,
Yeah.
because then if you fail, it's your decision and you can live with. It's not the decision of someone else that kills you. So my goal was for 1 year to be competitive at UTMB. So yeah, I'm going to take a bit of risk when I'm going to start running again. Maybe I'm going to start running a little bit early, but that will be my decision. And for sure, to get back to what to say, what I did last year give me a lot of confidence, because I feel like I know more and more this race. For sure, I'm like in a good spiral, because every year I go to UTMB, I'm doing better.
Yeah.
But I also see the side that you say that for sure, like yeah, it's like yeah, I'm doing not as good as I used to do. Yeah, it can be hard, but it's also sports. And we got back to what you said, to what we said earlier. Just like at the end of the day, if I'm going to UTMB because I think I'm ready, and it's because I think I want to know where I'm at. And if I'm not where I want it to be, it is what it is, and it's what will give me the strength to do better next year.
Yeah.
That's the truth, and that's what we want to know.
Yeah. What's interesting about racing again?
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly.
Um, what do you think is your main strength at a race like UTMB? Like, why do you like it, and why, like, where do you think you're maybe better than anyone else on that course, on that format?
Yeah, it's funny you asked this question, because I don't think I have any really strength correlated to running. I think my best strength for my stomach. I think I'm really good at filling my stomach with a
Some
lot
people
of
say
different.
ultra running is just like an eating contest with the
Yeah,
excuse of running, you know.
yeah, it's pretty much that. Yeah, I can feel pretty easily, and I think yeah, decision making. I think I take good decision at the right times, and
Is
yeah, I
it
think
more like decision, you know, whether to follow a move of
yeah,
other
yeah,
people,
it's
or like in terms of pacing, or like when to eat or when not to eat? What kind of decisions are you
yeah,
referring to?
exactly all of decision like yeah, you're like in the back of the pack and you think it's going a little bit too fast, and yeah, it comes to your decision to slow down the pace. It comes to your decision to speed up the pace because there's technical downhill and you think that your competitors are maybe not the best at that section. It's all the analysis around the race. Like maybe, yeah, maybe I would say my strength is like I'm really tuned with myself. Like if I feel like I have a small down, I maybe know because I didn't hit enough, because I'm too sleepy, then I have to react differently, then I have to put sunglasses, it's warm. I think I figured out those things, and I do less and less mistake with those things. So yeah, it was under for me the decision making is just being able to solve the problem super quickly and adjust and adapt and take the not the good but the best decision for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Another question that I wanted to ask you, you know, when people see you closing a race like UTMB in 20 hours, and you know, maybe you post about it on Instagram, and you get comments and people, you know, saying all sort of things. Um, what happens to me like pretty frequently is that I feel like a lot of the comments that I get when I have a good race, for example, are not like exactly on point. Like people, of course, they want to congratulate you, but they say like you're a champion, you're like super strong. But for example, I don't feel a champion at all. I don't feel strong at all. You know, all these things that make me a little uncomfortable. How how is it for you? Like, I don't know if it makes sense, but like, what kind of reactions did you get after your podium at UTMB? And what is something that you wish to explain people that maybe
Yeah,
they don't
yeah,
understand about you, or like they don't understand about how you performed at that race?
yeah. I really feel the same as you. I just try to not like take have too much attention about it because I just think that people are a bit clumsy and just want to congratulate you, and they don't know how to use the right words or the words that resonates for you.
Yeah, I agree. Like the intention is for sure really
Yeah,
good,
yeah,
but that means like I
yeah.
don't
It's
know.
all
It's
about the
uncomfortable.
results, and
Hmm.
I think our quest is way more than just like the result. For sure, your podium at UTMB, and then it's super cool. But at the end of the day, it's like 20 hours of your life, and it defines if you're an asshole or if you're just the champion. Because if 10 hours earlier you are bonking because you forgot your gel or whatever, then you're kind of the stupid guy. But then 10 hours after, hey, you are the champion. So it's super hard, yeah, to deal with that. And I guess, yeah, people don't really get the quest of we we just want to give the best of us on just the one day, and it's this day, it's not the day after, it's not the day before, and that's the beauty of sports. But I agree that what's what I like when people comment, it's just when when actually they are more involved in like something you failed or something you didn't do as expect the previous month, or you had like an injury or whatever, and for sure you don't have that much like that much support during those times. But yeah, it's often what people see, that is like super important for them, but you are proud of all the process, all the decision you made, all the days you went in the poury rain, and yeah, I think we're all fond of the process and training every day, adding the small things, finding new things, having routines, and then yeah, your race is like 1% of all of that. But it's always the iceberg thing, like.
Yeah. What is funny, it's obviously normal, but it's also funny to think about it, is that the mere moment of the race and the result ends up defining your whole experience in the eyes of the other people, because that's basically the only thing that they see in the end, is like your result, or like what they mostly pay attention to. So yeah, it's hard sometimes. I feel a lot of times it doesn't justify all the hours, all the work you put in, and obviously like it's nice to get appreciation from other people, but you have to be enough for yourself. I think you have to draw your motivation and confidence and self-value from yourself. Like it has to come from your own strength and not from what other people say or think about you. um
Yeah,
and then like
yeah,
it's super nice to have good feedback and validation from other people, but it should not be like the source for our motivation or reason to push forward.
yeah, I agree. It's just, yeah, someone told me recently when they read my post that, yeah, my season was almost done. And that's funny because you're more fit than the previous year. You just didn't get to show it actually. Just like working in the wood, and waiting to at the end of the year to show it. That's the final thing where you kind of show your work. And on a sponsor point of view, I often have like young runners asking me about like sponsor thing, and then they get pressure from the sponsor, and yeah, that the sport is kind of a bet. You're just during all year you're like kind of making your money in the wood, but then you only collect it after your main race if you do well, and you can't predict that, and that's also how a lifestyle of professional athletes. It's just that you have to be okay of more or less knowing that next year you maybe won't be a professional athlete, and that's kind of like a kind of hard to to make the step. There's a lot of runners up there that are still like having their like half part job or stuff like that, which is great. But yeah, when you make the bet to be a professional runner, it's just you accept that everything can be over anytime, and you just like spend like this time like, yeah, building, making your money, but not being sure about collecting it in some way, sometimes. And I think that's also the kind of lifestyle that I like. Just like being always in a bet, you never know. But that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's not necessarily easy. I think
It's either scary or
it's a
cool.
little
But
scary for sure
again, if
if you think
if
about
you
it.
yeah, if you said it's exactly what you said. If you take the scary way, then you're scared all the time. And then if you take the kind of playful and yeah, the
Yeah,
playful
it's
way, then
also a beautiful
yeah,
position to be in. What I don't like sometimes is that people think or assume that being a professional athlete is a position of privilege. I don't see it as a privilege, but something that I work hard for. Uh, and it's not like I was born with that much talent above the average that magically allowed me to become a professional athlete, but it's because like I put in a lot of work, and I'm sure it's the same for you, but that part often is a little bit forgotten. Obviously, it's there, so it's like what gives you confidence that the choices that you're making, the fact that you want to be a professional athlete is the right choice, is the way to go, is the lifestyle that you want. But yeah, it's a beautiful lifestyle, but it's not really a privilege, I think, in a lot of ways.
yeah, it's only when you get to do it that you understand that, oh, actually, yeah,
Maybe, yeah.
you're moving from like some like maybe a safer job with like more stability, like something that you can project in the future, and then you get to live this like professional athlete life, and you see that you're more in a storm. It's not that stable,
Yeah,
and then nothing is grand, and yeah, it's kind of cool.
yeah. Do you like sharing with your community and like people who follow you on social media and also who follow you at the races in person and everything, like your fans in general, the behind the scenes of training, like, all the things that we're talking about that are like kind of dig deep inside your life and the life of pro athletes, because like many times I think people just see the surface level, the race results, or like, yeah, what appears from the pictures, from the media, from the interviews, that is maybe not as deep, not as interesting. But like other people, myself included, like to share more and to develop a more uh like a deeper connection with with my audience, my with people who follow me, and to really develop this kind of empathy with them, because I think there is a value in this kind of communication, this connection with people. Do you like the same, or are you like, of course, like you keep some things private, but like how do you talk to the people who follow you, basically?
Yeah, I try to just be the one I am in real life. So yeah, I'm not the one who will like really share that much data and stuff like that, because I feel like I'm not the best at it. Like a lot of people are doing it better than me. But yeah, I'm trying more to share like who I am every day. I'm more like, yeah, taking training and life more like with a lot of fun, and that's how I can be serious, because otherwise, if I wanted to be serious every day, whole day, I could not do it. So I'm more like a funny guy, and it allows me to have some balance in my like crazy and more focused times. That's what I try to communicate about. It's just that it's not because we're smiling that we can't be focused and really pro in what we do. I had struggled a lot at school about that, because my teacher were always thinking that I was like not serious because I was always laughing. So at the end of the day, it worked well. It's how I can work. So I'm trying to kind of like communicate with
Yeah.
that angle because again it's who I am, and it's what works for me.
Yeah. I think that's important. Like the fact that maybe we don't take ourselves very seriously, it doesn't mean that we're not serious in what we're doing in our approach to the sport. Um, and yeah,
Yeah, because
it makes it more fun. Like personally, I wouldn't be able to leave out the fun part from the process of training. Like yeah, it's not fun every day, but like there needs to be a component of enjoyment and fun and madness and craziness that I want to keep in the sport, because otherwise it's it's just, I don't know, it's hard, it's boring, it's yeah, it's not my approach. And maybe it's the same for you.
yeah, I feel like it's like when when you're in high school, then you go and in high school everyone is funny, like you laugh all the time, and then people get older, they have jobs, and then they are not funny anymore. So I'm
Yeah.
I kind of noticed that, and I was like, okay, when I was doing my internship after school, I was like, wow, people are getting so serious. It's not fun anymore. I need to escape that. And then doing trail running, I was like that. The first thing when I did trail running, it was a lot of fun. It was like, I want to go there with that friend and that friend because we're gonna laugh. It's gonna be like high school again, and we're gonna laugh. And that's the origin of the thing. And then I tried every day to just yeah remind myself that I started this sport because of that. And yeah, for sure there's data, then you have to eat the split, then for sure there's like some things that are not fun, but I'm here because that was fun at some point at the beginning. So it still needs to be fun. I still need to laugh, still need to don't take myself super seriously, even if I'm more older. I care more about the data, I care more about training. But yeah, I should not like deviate too much from the origin of me starting this sport.
Yeah, I can definitely relate. So it's about keeping that high school kid attitude alive, even if we're
Yeah.
getting kind of old. I mean, we're not old, but yeah, I guess we're experienced.
Yeah.
Cool. Um, I didn't really ask you about Katie, but before we close our episode, I'd love you to spend a few words about Katie and how you see her ahead of this Western State. Obviously, she is probably the main favorite after what she did last year. I think her training has gone super well, at least from what it looks on Strava and from social media. Um, yeah, just say a few words about Katie and what this Western State means for her this year.
Yeah, she has done a lot of choices oriented towards this race, and yeah, a lot of training decision oriented around this race. I think she kind of duplicate what she did last year with a little bit more training and a little bit more knowing about the race. So yeah, she's in good shape. She's confident, and she's excited. She wants to race. So yeah, for now, like all the lights are green, and yeah. Anyway, I think she's gonna have fun. Yeah, I don't have too many doubts
Yeah.
about her on this race, but it's gonna be warmer than last year, so
Hmm.
definitely something new for her because last year was a pretty cool temperature. So yeah, I'm gonna follow that.
Cool. Who between you and Katie is more obsessed about training?
don't know. I think we have a different way to to approach training. And especially those last 2 years she's been more oriented around running because of Western States because it requires a lot of running. And me doing UTMB at the end of August required less running in the winter. So that was the main difference.
Hey,
Yeah.
sorry, I
Sorry.
my internet went down for a second. Yeah, you were just saying that her training required a little more running this year.
Yes.
And last year you
Yeah.
were sorry, this year you were, since you were focusing on UTMB, you were like running maybe a little less in the winter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was yeah. Katie run more the last 2 years in the winter to train for Western State, and I was more focused on ski mountaineering in the winter because I was doing races later um, in the year like UTMB. So we were kind of like on different schedule, but still sharing like I would say training days. You both get up and someone is doing one thing, someone is doing another thing, and I think yeah we get inspired by each other decision. I think it's interesting to see uh, what the other is doing and what the other is not doing. Also, I think that gives you more information when
Yeah.
you look at trainings about people. Actually, you wanna look at what they are not doing, so it gives you gives you more information about what they are doing. So yeah, we for sure get like a lot of input from each other. Also, yeah, we can share like maybe one day she will do a race that I did, and I will do a race that she already did, and then we can like cross our information, cross our contact. She has contact in US, I have more in Europe. Then yeah, I think we are really helping each other in several ways that we don't sometimes we don't even see it, but I think we are really working as a team most of the time. Yeah.
Well, I remember she mentioned uh I had her on the podcast earlier this year, and she mentioned that you don't usually train together, like run together, because then you end up fighting on whether like maybe you're pushing too hard or like not going fast enough or like all that stuff. So you prefer to keep your training separate and just
Yeah,
spend all the rest of your life together, but not when you're running. And I thought that was
yeah,
funny.
that's true. I think at the beginning when we were first dating, we were running more together
Yeah, you want to
yeah
you want to
we were
be
not
together all the time. Yeah.
yeah we were not living in the same place. She was living in Zurich and me here. So we ended up like seeing us like 5 days or one week, and if we began to train like on our own, the goal was to optimize them together. But yeah, since we are living in the same place, we are pretty much not training together. Because yeah, it's either like yeah, the slight pace difference that make everyone mad. You don't realize you're running a little bit too fast,
Yeah.
and she thinks you're doing that on purpose, and then you think she's going slow on purpose, uh, and then you've been out for a run, you go back home, and you're like, yeah, that was not super helpful. So we are lucky that we can share like meals and like a ton of times, uh, except training time together. So we kind of stick to that, but we still like do like easy run together, or if we go somewhere new, then yeah, we probably like run longer together. But at home, not really.
Yeah, cool. Okay, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. I'll let you get back to your things, and all the best for your recovery. Also, all the best to Katie for Western States, and hopefully we'll see each other soon, I guess, at UTMB.
Yeah, I guess so. Thanks for
Yeah,
having me.
of course.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks.